Hello, welcome to my home. My name is Olivier Reza. I'm going to give you the grand tour. So this room is the foyer. It's an important room because it's the first room you enter in the house. We use coffers that are pretty bright with this off-white color, but the rest of the walls are pretty dark with this bluish gray tone. We picked this dark color because we had this console, the lights, the mirror, this art light, and pretty much everything here was silverish color and we wanted to pop. It's very important for me when we place objects that you actually see them. And in this case, picking a dark color on the wall really did the job. We are here in the study. It's one of my favorite rooms in the house. What I really wanted to do here is to find the right balance between the glass of the windows and have a perfect balance between wood, fabric, metal. For the walls, what we did is we did a cabinetry in ebony, which is pretty dark, and we had a metal mesh that is pretty bright, a pretty dark carpet, and then the sofa is pretty bright because the room needed, and the ceiling are pretty bright because the room really needed counterbalance the walls and the darker fabrics. I found those lamps and the mesh was pretty similar, and I thought it was a little nice touch to have a repeat of what you have on one side of the room in the middle of the room. The desk here is really used as a kind of centerpiece and display piece for other objects. So one of the limitations when you've decorated a house is that when the key furniture is in place, you really don't have much room to add more. What you can add more is really objects. So as you can see here on this coffee table, you've got 1920s, 30s Dunant vases with sculpture by N.Y.C. But you also have tableware and ceramics from today from L'Objet. Tell two different stories and you see those two periods talking to each other, which is pretty nice and bringing color into the room. Now that we've seen the study, let's walk towards the living room. So we are here in our living room. Like the other rooms that we just saw, it's pretty unique. It has its own style. With my wife, we picked this honey color, which was quite unusual. We've never worked with it. I was really pleased of the result, especially the combination of colors she picked for the fabric of the sofa, but more importantly for the pillows, and how the little orange pops with the blue. It's extremely diverse and different and unusual. So the room is centered around this coffee table. So the design is inspired by Paul Dupré-Lafont, who was a very famous designer and decorator in the 1930s. But it was actually made by VBH, which was a handbag brand that we discovered with my wife 25 years ago. On Madison Avenue, they had this beautiful store. They had a table like that and we asked them if they would make one for us, which they did, and since then it's been in this house. As you can see, it's an improved version from the ones Paul Dupré-Lafont did 100 years ago. It's a bit bigger, but the quality of the finishing and material is really unique. It was made in Italy, if I remember well. On top of it, you've got, again, objects, including this Haas Brothers beast. So in every one of our houses we have a Haas Brother beast. I'm particularly fond of them. They're like little animals you live with. As you go around the coffee table, there's additional objects. This is Campagna Brothers, little side tables that I find extremely chic. As you look at this is a desk from the 1930s that, again, I'm using more as a display than a desk I work on. But it has a very unusual shape and it's actually perfect for displaying art and objects. So now that we are done with the living room, let's go to the kitchen and dining room. So we're here in the kitchen. This is a place that I particularly like because it's really open. It's the last room that we did in the house in our latest renovation. I picked this kitchen because I really love the design. You know, I love that brass finish. I love that the equipment is embedded and flushed with it and is part of the whole design. You know, every detail here is thought through. But as you can see, even the grill up there was picked carefully and had to tell its own story. As we move throughout the kitchen, you can see, you know, the idea of a big island where we can sit, you know, comfortably 7 people was very important for me. This is the place I like the family to get together. The wine area, we are big wine drinkers, so, you know, it has its own space. The dining room is part of the entire room. I'm not a big fan of separating the dining room from the kitchen. I like the fact that the 2 rooms are within the same atmosphere. This chandelier is beautiful work. It's from Dutch artists that work with metal, LED lights, but also tender lines that are actually real ones that they pick and they, you know, recompose around a LED light. So for this room, I didn't want a table that would be too heavy because I really like the lightness of the colors we picked for the room. So I found this carbon fiber table that is very thin, very long, and really disappears. The legs are super thin. I looked really hard actually to find that piece. Because I was very worried that a big thick wood table or glass table would be either too heavy, too thick, too warm, and glass maybe too cold. So finding this was really a blessing. For the chairs, these are Jean Prouvé design, and I like comfortable chairs in the dining room because when you have a good time, you actually want to feel comfortable and you want to, you know, stay around the table for a while and for some time. So that was the grand tour of my house. Thank you very much for coming. I'll see you next time.